Hello friends, welcome to Selenium with Java June 2021 morning batch online training session 12. In the last session I started framework and I already covered what is framework all about, what are the different type of framework available and how we can read the data from the external data source with the help of data driven testing. So whenever we are talking about data-driven testing, we need to first import all the Apache PY related jar file, and with the help of that, we will be reading the data from the external Excel file. So today in this session, we will see how we can read and write data in the Excel sheet through data-driven framework, as well as what is keyword-driven framework in Selenium all about, and how we can create the keyword-driven framework from the scratch. So in the last sessions we used @data provider annotations from TestNG, right? As well as we used Apache PY. We created Excel files and we placed in some drive, and from the Excel file we have tried to read the data only, and definitely for different data combination we have tried to execute our test case, right? Here we not only read the data, as well as we will try to write the data. We will try to write something in the Excel sheet written, right, with the help of data driven framework. So for that, right, Apache PY is required. So Apache PY is an open source library developed and distributed by Apache Software Foundation to design or modify Microsoft Office file using Java program. It is popular API that allows working around Excel files using Java program. In short, user can read and write MS Excel file using Java. Apache PY is our Java Excel solution. So in the Apache PY, right, whenever we are reading and writing data, there can be two formats, right? One is .xls and another is .xlsx, right? In case it is xlsx, right, so we will be using xssf. In case it is xlsx only, we can use hssf, right? So user need to use xssf if they need to read or write an OOA Excel file using Java XLSX. It has many predefined method, classes and interfaces. What are the prerequisites to implement data-driven framework? First, we need to have the Eclipse IDE. Then we need to install all the Selenium jar file and Apache PY jar files, right? Then we need to create a TestNG class, and definitely we need to create the data in the Microsoft Excel file, right? So to download the Apache PY, in the last session I already told how to download the file. So you need to go to that file py.apache.org, download.html, and you need to download the zip file and place them along with sets of Selenium jar file and configure your build path, right? The coordination between main code and data set will be taken care by TestNG data provider, which is library that's come as part of Apache PY jar file. Okay, so let's go to the Eclipse. So this is my Eclipse project, right? Selenium June 21 morning batch. Okay, so here we already associated our jar file. If we go to the right click here and go to the properties, so this is the path, and if we expand our reference library files, you can find here, right, all the jar files associated, PY related jar files, right, and then your Selenium jar file is already there, and then XMLs and jar file, log4j jar file, along with that TestNG project is already there, right? So if you want to associate still, again right click on the here, go to the properties, go to the Java build path, right, and go click on the add external jars. You can go to that particular folder, right? So that are the different jar file you need to associate after downloading the jar file. These are the different jar files available. This is the jar file, and from the library file jar file you need to associate it. Okay, so once the jar file association is done, right, so after the project is created, we need to associate all the jar file for the Apache PY. Okay, then here, okay, we instead of at the rate data provider, we will use normal TestNG class, right? And with the help of that, we will try to read and write the data from the external source. So suppose say I want to enter the data in the Facebook email field and password field, right? Every time. Okay. So here I will be creating a test. I will be creating a TestNG class in the training packages. Class name is session 12 read and write data, right? I am defining a global variable called driver for the WebDriver interface. Then before test, I am setting all the properties for the WebDriver, and after test, I am trying to quit the driver. And I will be creating a test cases, right, to open the Facebook page and to enter the data and to write the data in the external source. So for that, I have created an Excel sheet here. Okay, in the drive, Facebook login credential. So this is my test data sheet from which I will be reading the data as well as I will be writing the data. Okay. So this sheet has three different columns. One is the user ID, one is the password, and one is the test result. Okay. So in user ID fields, I have tried to provide three set of different combinations. So this is sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. And the sheet 1 is the first sheet. So I have tried to create three different columns: user ID, password, and test result. So this is my first row. And from second row onward, that means row 1 onward, I have tried to give the username and password combination. And in the third column, right, which is the column 2, 0, 1, and 2, I want to write the data along with the reading the data from the user ID and password field. So this is my Excel sheet through which I will be reading and writing the data. So here I have created a TestNG class. Once again I am letting you know session 12 read and write data, read write data. Right, first I am creating a global variable called WebDriver driver. Right, once I read it, I will be creating two more methods, right, called before test, where I am setting the properties for the WebDriver, and after test I am setting the properties for closing the browsers. Right, I am creating the method, and at the rate test, which is my test cases. So I want to open my Facebook page, right? So this is the Facebook login page, that is my test case name, and here I want to open the Facebook page first. After that, I want to read the data from my Excel sheet. That means user ID and password column, right? First is that is part, right? So for that, in the last session I told, right, first we need to go to the path of the sheet, then we need to identify the sheet name, means this, Excel sheet name. Then we will be going to the tab. Once tab is identified, then we will be going to the row, okay, and after that row I will be going to the column and then cell, right? So here I will be first going to the path, then the Excel sheet, and then sheet name, and then cell. So with the help of cells I will be directly reading the data. Okay, so here we will be using a for loop, right, so that we can read the data one by one. Okay, and we can add them in my test case. So as it is a 2000 Excel is X format, so if you right click here, right, Microsoft Excel sheet is my type, and if you want to right click here, you can definitely it is in my drive, and if you get the extension also for the file, right click, go to the properties here, so you can get the extension. You can see it as .xlsx, right? So for that one we need to use XSSF. In case it is .xls, we need to use HSSF, right? So we will be creating some global variable first in my class level, right? Just like the WebDriver driver, we will be creating few more variables to reading the data from the external source, which is like XSSF, because that is the extension for the .xls Excel file workbook. So I will be creating first variable for workbook equal to not workbook, that is my variable I am declaring. So this is my global variable, so I can use anywhere. Then XSSF sheet, right, I will be, once I read my workbook, then I will be reading the sheet, then I will be going to the cell here, XSSF sheet. So I am giving the variable called worksheet. Then I will be going to the cell. So XSSF cell. So that are the different class I will be using cell. So I need to import everything, right? All the classes from the Apache py, right? You can see .org.apache.py.xsf.user that is the package name. I need to import it. So once the import is done, error message will be gone, right? So first is the location, then the workbook, and then worksheet, and then cell, right? So this is the three global variable I have already declared. Before set test method I have already written, after test method I have written, and in the test cases Facebook login page I already navigating to my Facebook page. Then I will be first reading the file, right? So I will be creating a object or instance for the file class, file equal to new file, and I will be providing the path here, right? So what is my path? So if I right click here and I can get the path here, I need to give the complete path along with the file name and extension, right? So that I can read the file, right? So this is my path, D drive. And then I will be giving the Excel sheet name and the extension .xlsx. So that's why I can read the file, right? So I need to import the file class from the java.io package. Then I need to load the file, right? So try to load the file. How we can load the file? We need to create a object, right, with the help of file input stream. You already see in the last few sessions, file input stream. I will be creating a variable FIS equal to new file input stream, and I will be providing the file reference here. So I can load the file. So we need to also import the file input stream class from the java.io package. So I am trying to load the file, right? Then I need to load the workbook, right? Once I load the file, then how can we load the workbook? Load the workbook. So I already created a global variable, right, for the workbook, XSSF workbook. This is my work variable. So I will be taking that variable here and I will be using the class here, workbook class. So I already declared globally. That is the reason I am not creating a variable here. I am using that variable workbook equal to new workbook, and here I am giving the reference of the file input stream. So that is the way we can, right, read the workbook. Okay, you can see error message gone. So, okay, so once I already load the workbook, then I can load the sheet, right, in which data is already stored, right? So I will be loading the sheet in which data is already stored. So how can I do that? So try to load the sheet, data sheet in which data are saved or stored. Okay, so for that one, right, we have created a variable called worksheet, right, global variables. So I will be using that one. So worksheet, that is my variable. How can I go that? So definitely I will be going to the workbook variables here for the workbook and then get sheet, right? So once I go to the workbook, then I can get sheet at, right? That is a importance method there, right? So I will be using that one, get sheet at. Either I can go to the sheet index or I can go to the sheet name. So go to the index here. So this is my first sheet, so I can use the index 0. Okay, in case it is second sheet, I can use index 1 like that. So this is my first sheet, or I can give the sheet name or string as using string. So then my, I already go to the worksheet tab, right? Then I need to read the cell, right? Once I go to the cell instead of loading all the rows, right? So here first I need to take how many row, right? Data is already there, right? What is my row count, right? Suppose say this is my row count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4 row. I have data is already there. So I will be using what is the last row where data is already present, right? So how can I do that? So I will be using worksheet, that is my variable here. So that is my variable. I will be going to the worksheet, and then I will be using get last row number dot get last row number, so that I can go to that sheet and I can get, you can see return type is integer, right? So I can see how many row is there, right, in the Excel sheet for which I need to read the data. So I will be storing it some integer variable. Suppose this is my active row, okay, means how many row data is there, active rows, okay. Now I will be iterating the row, right? So I already got to know this is my row count. So this is my 4 row count. So I will be going to iterating it, right? So here I will be iterating from here, because this is my first row is my header. Definitely I don't want to iterate it, right? So I will be iterating it here. So suppose in case I am using variable I or j, k, I will be iterating for I equal to 1 instead of 0, because this is my 0th row is my header. I don't want to iterate it. So I will be iterating 0, 1, and 1, 2, and 3. So here my size is 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will be iterating from 1 to 4 minus 1 means 3 or less than 4. So that's why I will be creating a variable, creating a loop here. Okay. So I will be creating a loop here. So for suppose say integer I equal to 1. Here I want to iterate from the second row, because in the first row you are having the heading I less than equal to, man means active row minus 1. So that will be active row. I don't want to iterate. I want to iterate till the active row minus 1, right? Then I plus plus. So that is my for loop. So I need to embrace with second bracket. Now here I will be, right, iterating, and so this is my first column, that means cell 0, right? After I iterate the row, I will be going to the cell 0 where I will be reading the username, right? So that is my username field whenever I want to read it, right? And that data I will be adding it here, username field, right? So I will be using a cell variable, right? So how can I get the cell variable here? Equal to, first I need to go to the worksheet here, right? That is my worksheet, means I am going to the sheet number, and then I will be going to the get row, right? So row means I am iterating the row, and what is the thing I am iterating? I am iterating through the I variable. Then dot get cell, right? So that is the another way, get cell, where I will be giving the cell reference here, first cell, right, means first column. So that is the way I will be reading the data, and I am creating a variable called cell, right? Then here I can add cell dot set cell type. So what is my cell type? I want to do it cell type. You can see here, this is my cell type. So it is cell type dot string, because I want to store here string only, dot string. You can see here, that's why I can store the cell value as string, right? Then here I will be adding the data, right? So after adding the data, every time I need to clear it, otherwise the data will be appended one by one by one by one, right? So first let's try to identify the web element, right, which is the email ID, right? So let's press F12 button here. So you can see email ID equal to email. With the help of email, you can create a web element. Web element email equal to find element, right? Driver dot find element, right? By email. By dot email by dot id equal to email, right? So that is the web element I am creating. So I need to import web element class here. So that is my right where I want to add the data. So every time I will be adding the data and clearing it here. So whatever iterative I want to done, so let's first clear it, so that I don't want to keep any data, default data. Email dot clear. Then email dot send keys. Right? Every time I want to send the keys, what I will be sending the script? I will be sending the keys is cell dot get string value. Okay, from that cell variable. Dot get string value, because I want to add only the string value. Okay, so that's why I am importing here data variation for first field, right, which is the username field, which is the email field, right. Similar way, in that same for loop, I can import the data in the password field, right. Just change it, right, to password field, right. First identify the password here. So how can I identify it, the password field? So you can see here the password field. Okay, so ID is pass, right? So I'll be using a password field here, right? So here ID is pass. So similar way, I need to import change all password field, right? And here, how will reading the cell? So in the password field data, I will be reading it from my first column, right? So I need to change it. User ID, I am reading it from my my first column, and here it is my second column. So that means 1, right? So it is my row 0, sorry, column 0 or cell 0. It is my cell 1. So I will be reading it. I need to change it here also, right? Cell 1. Otherwise, it's same. I will be storing the web element password field with the help of password variables. I am clearing it, and I am again setting the data. So that's why I can, right, set the data. Here I can give some kind of thread time, so that you can see whether it's happening or not every time, right? So I will be using thread dot sleep. So I can give some wait time, right? Suppose say 2 seconds, right? As it is a thread dot sleep, I can surround with, so that each and every data will be waiting for 2 seconds, right? After that, within the same for loop, right, I want to write the data in my Excel sheet, right, in that column, means cell G2. I want to write the data in my cell 2. Okay, so that is my heading, test result. Okay, and I want to write the data. In case it is taking all the user ID password field correctly, I will be just giving this pass, or test case data is test case is passed. So that particular thing I want to add it here. So okay, let's try to add it. How we can write the data? Definitely with the help of file output stream, right? So I'll be creating a class object for the file output stream class, output stream, FOS equal to new file output stream, right? What is the file reference? The file reference is same, right? This is the file reference here, right? So that same file you want to access it, So that is my file reference. And the same loop, right, within the same for loop, I need to import the file output stream class from the java.io package. Then I need to update my test result in the column, right, in the cell 2. Okay, so here I am giving it, right, test result need to be updated in cell 2, right. So I will be creating a string. What are the result I want to update it here? Suppose say I will be creating a string variable. Suppose say result, test result. What is the test result I want to update? Suppose say every time it will be passed. Here in case only, but definitely you can add more steps to something like that. It failed, it is work in progress, like that. But definitely here, in case my every data is taking, I will be updating a single thing that will be passed, right? So where I need to update it? So I need to create a new cell here, right? So that I can update it here. So I will be adding it in cell 2, right? So I will be going to the worksheet first, because it is within the for loop, right? So I will be going to the worksheet first here, right? Then I will be going to the get of I directly, right? So worksheet dot get of I dot, I will be creating a new cell where I will be setting the data. Create new cell, right? In the cell means cell 2. Create cell. Where, which cell I want to add the data? I want to add the data in cell number 2. Then dot set cell value. What are the value you want to add? Set cell value. Okay. So I want to add string value here. What is my value here? That is my variable, right? I want to add the value. Okay. Then error message gone here. Then definitely I will be writing the data in the workbook, right? So workbook dot write. Where I will be writing the data? I will be writing the data here, FOS, that output stream. So that's all. So that are the different lines of code, you need to write it. Okay. So first is I will be creating the project. I will be associating all the Apache PY related jar file and only Selenium jar file, and I will be creating a TestNG class here. I will be creating a global variable called WebDriver driver. I am creating before method, before test, after test, where I will be setting all the properties for the Chrome driver and creating the driver. And I will be creating a @test annotation where I will be creating the test cases. Facebook login page, I want to suppose access the Facebook page. The next thing is that I will be creating a test data sheet in any of my drive, right? So this is my data sheet name, Facebook login credential. I will be creating 3 different columns here: cell 0, cell 1, cell 2, user ID and password. That is my row heading. And here I need to want to provide 3 different combinations through which I want to read the data in the sheet 1. And in that particular column, I want to write the data, right? So I will be declaring add is an XLS file, right? I will be declaring some global variable. First, it's I want to go to the workbook, then the sheet, and then the cell, right? So here, first I will be going to the file, right, with the help of file class. Then I am trying to read the file with the help of file input stream, load the file. Then I want to load the workbook with the help of workbook, XSF workbook. Then I want to go to the worksheet, means sheet 0, means there is 3 sheet. I want to go to the first sheet, so index is 0. Then I want to go to the sheet. After that, I want to read how many data, for how many row data is there with the help of get last row number. So, okay. Suppose say here 4 number is there, row number is there. So definitely I want to iterate 0 to 3. But here I will be iterating 1. Because my first is the heading, I don't want to iterate it, right? So I will be using a for loop. So it will be I equal to 1, not 0. Okay. Then I will be active rows I plus plus. I will be creating a cell variable. How it will reading the cell variable? I will be going to the worksheet and then sheet, right? Gets right worksheet. So what is the worksheet? You can see going to the sheet number 1. After that, I will be going to the row variable, right? Row variable. This is my row variables, right? Row I means it will be returned all the row, and this is my cell number 0. So I will be reading it. I will be setting the cell type as string, and I will be creating a variable for the email field. I will be clearing all the value every time and again setting the new value. Similar way the password field, which is the cell number 1 value, right? I want to wait for 2 seconds every time, so that you can see the visualization that whether it is clearing and adding new value or not. Then I want to write the data in my third cell, which is the cell 2, right? So I will be using file output stream. With the same file, I want to read it out. I want to create a variable where I want to pass this pass status, right? So I want to go to the worksheet and I want to reiterate the same row, right? As and when it is trying to read the data from the same row, but in the create new cell 2, which is nothing but that cell number 2, it will be writing the data, which is nothing but that value, test result pass. And how will be that is the thing it will be trying to read, right? After that, it will be writing the data with the help of file output stream. So that is the lines of code I am written here. Let's close it, Excel sheet. Sometime otherwise it can create problem if you open it, so it will not able to update the data. Okay, now let's try to run your test cases. Right click, run as, and test-ng test. Let's see your test case is running or not, and whether for each and every row from where data is taking, right, it is updating the test result called passed. That means it is reading and writing the data at the same time. So you can see here it will be adding the data username 1, password name 1, wait for 2 seconds, clear the value, username 2 and password 2 it is entering, right? So that's why it is waiting for 2 times and again entering the data. So you can see your test case result is passed here. Okay, this passed here, and you can get the output correctly, right? So your test case is passed properly, there is no failure, right? And if you go to the Excel sheet here, right, if you open it, you can see last update time is 7:40, means it's updated just now, right? So if you open it, you can see that for each and every row, your test result should be updated with the pass status, right? So it is pass status. So last row it did not get updated here, so it did not take the data here. Okay, so it will be less than or equal to, not less than, it will be less than or equal to, because active row, yeah, okay, last row count, okay, it will be less than, because it is starting from I equal to 1, right? That is the reason it is starting from I equal to 1, so I need to go to that last row. In case it is starting from 0, that's fine, otherwise you need to go to the last row. That is the reason it is not taking. Let's close the Excel sheet and let's see whether it's running or not. It should be less than equal to, it is starting from the 1. So Facebook page is opening. It will try to enter the email ID password field, so wait for 2 seconds, clear the value, again enter for the second set, username 2, password 2, clear the value, wait for 2 seconds and enter the last value, and definitely it will update the result, right, in the Excel sheet. Let's see now whether the Excel sheet has been updated or not, right? You can see 742, right? So last update time. Now if you open it, you can see it has been updated in all the past result in all the field. Let's remove it and let's add 2 more row here, and let's see whether for the 5 row data has been taken and test result has been updated or not, right? So let's save it and let's try to run it here now. So it will run the data for the 5 different sets of value from the Excel sheet, and definitely for each and every combination value it will update the status as fast. So that's why you can try to read the data from the external source such as Excel, and similar way you can write the data in the same row, right? So that's why you can read and write the data from the external source with the help of data driven testing. So username 2, password name 2, 3 combination, wait for 2 seconds, clear the data, and 4 combination, wait for 2 more seconds, it will clear the data and it will go for the 5th combination. Okay, it is passing the test case, no more failure here. And now if you go to the Excel sheet, you can see here 7:43 updated time. If you open it, so for the different 5 data combinations, so you can see all the statuses get passed here. So that's why you can read and write the data without using the data provider annotations as well. So using some loops, right, and using the right here approaches are different. So we'll be first navigating to the path, then we'll be going to the workbook, right, then the sheet, and then the cell. And definitely for going to the cell, we'll be using a for loop where we'll be seeing how many row data is there with the help of get last row number. Okay, and with the help of file output stream, we'll be updating the data in the new cell. Okay. So that's why I can read and write the data from the external data source such as Excel sheet, right? And definitely we need to use Apache Maven, and we are using data driven framework. Okay. So any questions? Okay. Then my next topic I'll be covering is keyword driven framework. Okay. So what is keyword driven framework? So in the data driven framework, we are trying to pass, right, the different data combinations. But here in the keyword driven framework, we will trying to add all the keyword in our Excel sheet, right? And with those keyword, we will try to interact our application under test, right? So keyword driven framework is a technique in which all the operations and instructions to be performed are written separately from the actual test case. The similarity it has with data driven framework is that the operation to be performed is again stored in an external file like Excel sheet. User can easily control and specify the functionalities they want to test. Okay, so this is the keyword library. It will be stored in some external source, and you will be reading the data, right, test input data, and will be writing the automation script through which we will be interacting the application under test. Similar way, we can get the data from the application under state with the help of automation script. We can also update our keyword library. So that's why it will be keyword driven framework will interact with your application under test. So definitely we need to read the data. So definitely Apache PY related stuff you need to add it, right? In case you are creating a Selenium, using Selenium, so you need to all add Selenium jar file. In case you want to use also TestNG, so you need to also use TestNG. Right, add the TestNG in your project. You need to create a TestNG class. So what are the different advantages of keyword driven framework is having? So say single keyword can be used across multiple test scripts. So once you define the keyword, suppose I am using a keyword called click. So definitely as and when you need to click on a button or a web link, right, you can use the same keyword called click. Right, so code will be reusable. User can write the detailed test plan having desired input and verification data in the form of simple and convenient spreadsheets, right? In case some expert having expertise of scripting language used by the automation tool can create utility script well before the creating of the detailed test plan, then the testing engineer is able to see automation tool immediately through the spreadsheet input method, and for this they need not master the concerned scripting language used by the automation tool. So the main important that even in case your application is not completely ready, but still you can try to go for the keyword driven framework design. But suppose this one page is not developed, so that page you will not focusing it. Other page you can try to create the different properties, and you can try to create all the methods and try to create the test cases. So that is the advantage of the keyword driven. even without completing your complete development, you can still proceed with your automation test script development. As and when your everything will be ready, you can update few script and you can run your testing, right? User become productive with the new testing tools for quickly, since they require to understand the format for use in the test plan and various desired keywords. This permit, right, different or rescheduling of more exhaustive test training, so new tool at some more convenient time in the future. What are the disadvantage? So definitely, just like any framework, right, initial cost for setting the framework will be high, and it is time consuming and complex. The tester is required to have great expertise over the scripting language of the test tool, so that they can successfully create customized function and utilities required for the application. Although the statements will be valid for all the framework, it can be data-driven framework, it can be keyword, or it can be combination of data and keyword, which is the hybrid framework. The tester is required to learn several special format and keyword for creating the customized utility required for the application. The process can take considerable time and can have adverse effect on the test plan development. However, this problem arises in the beginning only, and when testers get enough acquaintance with the process, they will be able to create test case much faster. So definitely initial times, in case they are not very much comfortable, so some time can be consumed by them, right, to learn all the things, to learn the framework concept, right, to go to the details of each and every utility script, and after that they are habituated, definitely their process will be much faster. So initially you need to spend some sort of times, right, you need to effort, but once everything is done, framework is set up, in case you need to add few more test cases, so easily you can do it with the help of reusable component, right? So that is the advantage of framework, keyword driven framework. Disadvantage is that some sort of your tester, automation tester need to have gain some knowledge on your tools, programming language, right? Initially it will taking a lot of time without the proper output. So that are the different disadvantage. Okay. And what is the difference between data driven and keyword driven testing framework? So data driven, it's comparatively harder to maintain since the abstraction is only between test data and test script, whereas keyword driven framework is easy to maintain due to more abstraction layer between test script, test data and keyword, etc. Planning has to be extensive and precious for keyword driven framework, right? But whereas planning is very easy since it's only needed for test data and test script for data driven framework. It is possible to write test script even before the product has finished development stage for keyword driven framework, but for the data driven framework, right, user need to wait for the development team to finish before writing the test cases. So that is the basic difference between these two frameworks. Now I will try to elaborate, right, how with the help of keyword driven framework you can, right, try to access all your, right, try to execute your test case based on the framework or based on the keyword. So this is the project I have already created, keyword driven project. Okay, so this is the project. I have created a Maven project here. Okay, and in the src file, right, in the Maven project, I have created three different packages: Excel export and file IO, operation package and test cases package, right? And definitely for that particular project, right, keyword driven project, I have associated all the jar file. Okay, you can see in the jar file, right, all the Apache PY jar files, all the Selenium jar files, right, I have added it. And I also, you can see here, TestNG project I have already added, right, so that I can create a TestNG class. Okay, so I have also associated TestNG project. Okay, and here in that particular project I added two more files here. One is the object.properties file and one is my test case.xlsx, right? You can see this extension is xlsx, means we need to use xssf, right, that extension to read the data from the test cases. So this is my two external files I have added in my project level, right? So let's first open the test cases. So here my objective is to go to the ready page, and I want to create few test cases. One is that I am giving some invalid user ID and password and clicking on the sign in button, so definitely some error message will be there. After that, I am adding some username and password, I am clicking on the forgot password link. So that is the two test cases I tried to write it here. Okay, you can add few more test cases with the help of keyword driven framework as well. Okay, so let's open the test cases. Okay, so if you open it here, so you can able to see it definitely here. So first you need to create the test cases sheet, which is the Excel sheet, right? Here you can see there are a lot of columns I have added, which is the test cases name. This is the second was the keyword. Third one is the object. Fourth one is the object type, and fifth one is the value. So this is the different 5 column I want to add it, right? So this is my test case name. The first test case name is log into the ready page with invalid credential. So here I am going to the keyword will be that go to URL. So I am going to the URL and I am passing the value URL. So this is the URL, so there is no object need to access it. The next one is that I am accessing username, right? Object, I am defining the object name as username. So this is my username and this is my password field, right? This is my sign in button and this is my forgot password link, right? So I have created four objects. So for the username, and it's a drop down, so it is a text field. I want to set the text. What is the text I want to add it? This is my value. Similarly for the password field, I want to set the text and this is my password value. And object type means which of the different attribute I will be using for by which I can read the data from the username, right? So here if you press F12 button here, right, so definitely I have given name because the name is also available for the username and password field, right? You can see name is login. So with that help of login name, I will be reading the data. I will be at first identifying the username field and then I will be interacting with that field, right? For the sign in button, as it button or link, so I will need to click that, right? That is my keyword. Go to URL, set text and click. So also sign in button also I want to read with the help of name. Similarly password I can read with the help of name, right? That is the name, and sign in button also I can read it with the help of name, right? You can see the name is proceed. Next test case is that click on the forgot password link in Reddit page. So here also I need to go to the URL, right? So value, I want to set the username and password field. Then I will be clicking on the forgot password. So here it is a link or button, so I will be clicking on the forgot password. And how I can read the data, right? Read the forgot password with the help of link or partial link, right? So this is the link I will be reading it. So that is the first part I am writing in my Excel sheet. So this is all about my test cases, right? So this is the different column: test case, keyword, object. Object is nothing but your identifier, and object type is nothing by which element locator technique you want to read it, and in case you want to write any data, so that is the value you want to pass it here. Okay, and that is the tab name, right? Sheet name. Okay, this sheet name is test cases and this is my sheet tab name, right? Keyword framework I have given it, right? Then you can go to the object properties files. So I will be creating a object or properties file at my project levels where I will be passing the URL. So that is the URL, right? So I will be passing in my other way. So here I will be providing the URL reference and here I will be providing the URL value. So all the value I will be trying to give it in my properties file. Then username, right? So that is the different object, right? The username. Okay. So I will be giving username, and where I will be giving the name properties, right? Because the username I want to read it, right, through my name object type. That is my element locator. So here what is my name? So name is my, you can see this is my login. So I have tried to give it same way. For the username name, password name and sign in button name, right? I have tried to give it username login, password is the name is the password, and sign in the name is the proceed. These are the element locator value, right, through which I will be interacting with them. You can see this is the proceed. And similarly for the last one, right, the forgot password link, right? This is the link through which I want to read the data with the help of link web element properties, right? ID, link, partial link text, CSS, like that. Okay. So here, what is the link here? If you go to the link here, so you can see the link text is forgot password. So I have tried to given it here also, the forgot password. Okay. So that's my two prerequisite, right? I'll be creating a test cases sheet where I'll be trying to create my test cases, 5 different column test case, and this is my keyword, very very important. This is through that keyword I'll be interacting, and this is my object, means the field name, and this is my object identifier, and in case of any value I want to give it here, right? And URL I am hard code, I can change it with the help of properties file, right? Then I will be first reading the data from the properties file. So in the operations package, I will be creating a class, Java class, right? Read properties file. So if you go here, right? So this is my class name. So I will be creating a variable for the properties class, right? Available in the, you can see this is the Java util package available properties class. So I am creating a variables, right? After that, I will be creating a method, right? Object repository, get object repository. I want to get all the object from the object or properties file. With the help of file input stream, I can read the data. So here first I can read the data with the help of file, right? So in the file, right, you can see file, new file, you can keep. Otherwise with the help of file input stream, I can give the reference directly, right? So here in the file, I did not given the project path and the file path. So I have given here user.directory, right? So with the help of system.getProperty user.directory, if you give it, you can directly read the project path. And after that, I have added the additional path, which is the object.properties. So that's why in case it is available in your project, with the help of system.getProperty user.directory, you can directly go to the project. Okay. And we'll be adding that additional path, so that we'll be reading the file, properties file. After that, we'll be loading all the file with the help of properties variable, whatever I have created, and that particular stream variable for the input stream, and I am returning it. That is the reason it is properties, because return type is properties, right, class. So here it is also properties. So that is my first Java class I am creating to read the data from the properties file. Next one, I will be creating another class called keyword operation in the operation package. So if you open the keyword operation here, okay, so we will be declaring a WebDriver global variable, WebDriver driver, right? And we will be creating a constructor, right? So that we will be giving the WebDriver driver reference, this dot driver equal to driver, so that same driver I can read it out, right? After that, I will be creating a method called perform, okay, where I will be trying to give the properties, which is nothing but that properties files here, properties free, and then the operation name, string operation, then the object name and the object type and the value. So this is coming from here, okay. This is my object name, object type, and this is my value, right? And here I will be creating a switch statement, right, for the each and every operation. So what are the operations? So this is the operation, right? This is the keyword, right? So that is the thing I want to add it, right? So first is click statement. Operation to uppercase or lowercase, if anything is there, I can convert it. If it is a click, then I will be clicking, right? What I will be clicking? This dot get object, right? So from the driver, this dot driver, I will be using get object, and this is my properties variable, and this is my object name, and this is my object type, right? What is my object name? That is my object name. So I want to click on that object name, and this is my object type, that means reference here, and I want to click here, right? And I will, in case it is matching, I will break it immediately. In case of set text, which is my next command, right, I will be similarly object type, name and value. In case anything is there, I can go for the other switch case. other switch case go URL. In case you are adding one or two more kind of thing right here, suppose say you want to get text or other part, you can add as a keyword, and you need to also add in your switch statement, right? And in case nothing is matching, it will go for the default break. So that is the one method you need to create it here. Okay. Second is that through which identifier you will be reading the data, right? Means its ID, name, class name, right? CSS, all this stuff, right? So here I will be creating another method called get object, which is also properties p reference and object name and object type, right? This is my object name and this is my object type. Okay. So here first, in case I want to check whether it's matching with the XPath, right? So object type, in case my object type, right? Object type here, in case it is matching with name or XPath with ignoring case, right? So it will be going return my XPath, so that I can click on that options here, right? Object name, right? Object name, I can click on that option. Similarly, in case it is matching with class name, name, ID, right? CSS, link, partial link text. Otherwise, it will give you the options called wrong object type. In case suppose it is not matching, otherwise it will try to get that one. So that is my default next class I have created. Then this is my third class, right? In the Excel export and file IO, I want to read the Excel sheet, right? So I will be creating here a method called read Excel, right? Where I will be providing the reference called file path, file name, and the seed name, right? So file path means that is my path here, right? File name is testcase.xlsx, and what is my seed name? Seed name is my keyword framework, right? So first I need to see, right? I need to create a file class where it is giving the file path for the file name, right? So this is my path here, I can give it directly at the plus annotations name. With the help of file input stream, I will be trying to read the data, right? So I will be passing the reference for file class. I am creating a workbook variables, right? First initially I am calling it null, then I want to check the extension, right? So in case it is a .xls, I will be using workbook equal to XSSF. In case it is .xls, I will be using HSSF. So that's why first I will be going to the workbook, right? Then so once I go to the workbook, then I will be going to the sheet, right? From the workbook .get sheet and sheet name. So I will be giving the, instead of sheet reference, instead of sheet index, I will be giving here name. I will be returning sheet. So that's why I will be going to the sheet directly. Means here I am going to that keyword framework sheet. After that I will be creating my test cases in the test cases packages. So this is my test cases, right? So I want to test ready page. This is my test cases name. I will be creating a testng class, which is the @test annotation is there. I am setting the properties for my Chrome diver. I am launching the Chrome diver. I am maximizing it, right? So that is the, you can also give it in the precondition. You can create a before method or before test, right? Also, then I will be creating an object for the read Excel files, right? And then read properties file class, I am creating an object. Read keyword operation also I am creating an object, and the properties class I am creating an object, right? So these are the 4 objects I am creating. Okay, and for the properties class I will be going to the object first, because the read properties file, right? So I will be reading all the properties file here. Okay, then I am going to the sheet with the help of sheet class, right? So how can I go to the sheet? So I want to go to the sheet directly. I will be giving the path of the project here, user.directory, right? Then // then your test cases name, seed name, and then your tab name right here, because in that particular read Excel file class I have given 3 reference: the file path, file name, and seed name. So file path is my project, which is user dot nothing but system.get properties user.directory, you can get the path, and we are concatenating it with the file Excel sheet class and then the name of the sheet, right? Then here I want to go to the sheet, I want to go to all the row, right? Then how can I go to the row here, right? I can go to the row, okay? So definitely, what is my row? So suppose say this is my first row, right? I want to get the data in my first row, and I want to get the data in my last row as well, right? So this is my last row, say here data is present, right? Okay, so I will be going to the first row and last row, that is my difference, right? You can see that is my difference, this data sheet and get last row and but if you want to get the row count, you need to add with 1. Suppose say your first row is 1 and your last row is 8. So what is the difference? It is 8 minus 7, 1 equals 7. But it is row is there from 1 to 8, so it is 8. So that is the reason I am adding 1 more, so that it will give me the correct number of rows. Then I will be using a for loop. I will be iterating it from I equal to 1 to I equal to less than low count. Because why I don't want to iterate? Because my first row is the heading part. I want to iterate from the second row. So I equal to 1, right? I want to iterate it, right? Then I will be first getting the row test data sheet dot get of I, right? Get row I, and then here I will be giving a condition if row dot get cell to string converted length equal to 0, right? Means here in case I am not getting any value here in my first cell, then I will be performing the operation, right? So first cell means, in case you can see, sometimes it is given the test cases only. So in case it is matching, it will print me the test case name and it is starting of the new test case execution. But in case it is giving not null, right, means null, then I will performing the operation only. So that is the objective of the test case here. So you can see, if it is not equal to null, it will print me the details, right? Otherwise, sorry, if it is equal to null, it will print me as well as it will perform the operations, right, from all the 4 cell, means cell 1, cell 2, cell 2, 3 and cell 4, where data is already there, right? First it will try to take the keyword operation with the help of object type and value. That is the reason I have entered here, right? So operation from where it is coming, this is the operation variable I have created, right? This is the operation from the keyword operation class, right? And will be performing the operation which is coming from the that particular part, perform that class, that method we have created, right? And we are giving all the references here. So all object, which is nothing but that reference, all object, right? We are creating the properties class variables where we will be reading the get object repository, right? If you click here, you will be finding the get repository. Object repository is the method we have created. So that's why. And I am reading all the row, sorry, all the cell 1 and converting to string, cell 2 converting to string, cell 3 converting to like that. In case it is equal to 0, means in case it is equal to 0, right? So I will be going to that options. Else, in case it is not equal to 0, that means I will be only want to get the test case details, right? So that is the reason I want to print it, right? New test case execution started. I can give some space here, and it is taking from the row and get cell, it is converting to string, and this is amending, right? We are amending. Let's save everything, and now let's try to run it, the test cases, and see whether my test case is running based on the keyword I have given. So it will try to launch the Chrome drivers, and then it will go for the 2 test cases one by one, right? First it will try to open the ready page, it will give the username and password, and it will click on the sign in button, and in case of error it will throw the error message because it is not valid one, right? Username and password field is not valid one. Okay, click on the sign in button. After that it will go for the second test case where it will enter the username and password field, and it will click on the forgot password link. Okay, and click on the forgot password link. You can see. So my test case is executed based on the keyword I have tried to give in my Excel sheet, which is test case.xlsx, right? Okay. So you can see the output here. Test case is passed. So this is the test cases package name, and there is the test case class name, right? And this is my test cases method name, test ready page. And if you go to the console, you can find it, the details part. New test case, log into ready page with invalid credential, test execution started, right? So this is my test case here, credential. And this is the part I have tried to append it here in case your test case is matching, right? New test case. So that is part is added here, and after that cell value, it is last part is added here, right? So based on that part. So what is my first test case objective? I want to go to the URL, right? So that is the URL. After that I want to go to the username, and I am entering the username. After that I want to go to the password fields and I want to enter it, and after that I want to click on the sign in button, right? Here the object type is name, so there is no value. Then my next test case, again click on the forgot password link on the ready page. So that is my test case name here. It is appending with that value, other value whatever I have given in my, right, run test case, and here it is going to the URL, right, set text for the username field and password field, and then clicking on the forgotten password link, and now test case is got passed, right. I am trying to give you once more time what are the things. First, create a project, keyword driven post project, and definitely add the testng class, add the Selenium jar file, and add all the jar file, associate all the jar file for Apache PY to your project. Okay, then create the test cases first .xlx file in the project level. So here you can create 5 different column: test case, keyword, object, object type, and value, right? So test cases, I will be giving my test cases name or objective. Keyword, I will try to give all the keyword, right? Whether it's a I want to set the text or click or go to the URL or want to validate something, right? I can give it. Object is nothing but the field name, right? And the object type is nothing but the element locator, and this is the value. I will be creating a object.properties file in the project levels. I will be giving the URL here because I don't want to showcase the URL here, and this is the field name, and this is the element locator value based on the object type I have given. So this is the name value, and this is the object type, right? This is the name value. Similarly, other also I am giving the value based on the right element object type given. So these are the different value I have given for each and every object. I am defining in the cases object column, and this is the value. So this is my first two thing. Then I want to load the object.properties file, right? So how can I load it? So I will be creating a package called operations, where I will be creating a Java class called keyword operations, read properties file. So this is my read properties file, right? So I will be creating a variable for the properties class available in Java. I will be creating a method called get object repository, where I will be using input stream, right? And I will be passing the file reference. So new file, and I will be providing the file path, right? So here I will be using system.getProperty user to directory, which is nothing but the project path. This is my project path. So after that, if you give double slash, and this is my file name, so I am giving it. So I am reading that way, right? And I will be loading all the input stream, and I am returning it. So returning is the P variable, so it is nothing property class. So I am returning also here the properties class. That is my third step. Then I will be creating another classes Java class called keyword operation in the same operation package, where I will be defining some global variable. I am creating a constructor, right, so that driver equal should match, otherwise if that driver will not match with the other driver. So okay, whereby we are giving the driver references whenever you are calling that particular classes. Okay, that is the reason I am creating constructor. I am creating a method called perform, where I want to read all the operation whatever I have given it, right? This is my operation, this is my object name, right? This operation means set text or click. Object name means your value, right? Email ID, password, all this stuff. Value is object type is your the element identifier, name, link or partial linked text, and value you are entering here, right? So you need to associate it with some exception so that it will be handled exception will be not thrown, right? And you need to click a switch operation where you will be using operation dot to uppercase. So that variable. In case anything is uppercase or lowercase, you can convert it. You can if it is not matching. So that suppose in case if sometime you given is lowercase in the Excel sheet, so you can convert it to uppercase. Then you are giving all the case statement. One is click, one is set text, one is go to URL. In case you are having other more thing, right? Okay. So you can give it, right? Clear. Okay, if you want to clear the value, you can give it all the clear method also in the switch statement. So what you want to do? You want to take the driver difference. You need to find element, right? You need to use that this keyword, then get object, right? Okay. So from where you are getting the object, you can see here. This is your get object method. Okay. Okay. Dot get object. This is the get object method, where you will be getting the object with the help of different properties. Okay. Then get object, and then is the p reference, then is your object name reference, right, and then object type reference. Add is the click operation, you will be clicking on that. And is set text, you will be sending the keys here, right? In case you are having one more method called go to URL, you will be just going to the URL, right? Just like driver.get without any other reference. Okay. Okay, because in the Excel sheet also you do not given any reference, right? And in case it is not matching, it will be defaultly break. So every time it is matching, it will be breaking. So another way you are creating another method called get object. So where you will be giving the properties reference also and the name and the object type. So this is the name here, and you will be matching with whether it's XPath matching or not, or ID, class name, or your CSS link or partial link. In case it is not matching, you will be giving it wrong object type. Okay. After that, you will be creating another package called Excel export and import IO, through which you will be trying to interact with the Excel file. So you will be creating a read Excel file where you need to provide the path, file name, and the sheet name, right? So this is your file, how you are reading the file, and with the input for a file input stream you are also reading the file, right? And then here you need to check whether what is the file extension, whether it is .xls or it is a .xls. In case it is .xls, you will be going with the HSSF reference. In case it is a right, it is a .xls, it will be going with the XSF reference. So you will be reading the first workbook, right, matching with the extension, right? After that you will be going to the sheet. Okay. So once I read the XSS or XSF, I can directly, instead of using XSS sheet, I can directly use the sheet, right? So you no need to give the other one. Once you already know the part starting point, you will be using common sheet or cell instead of XSSF sheet, XSSF cell, like that. XSSF row, you will be using simple row, that class. That is the beauty of that one. Then next one is the last one is that I will be creating the test cases, right, in the test cases package, right, where I want to run my test cases. So definitely here first I need to set the properties, right? I can also quit the driver at the last of the one everything is executed. Okay, I can quit it, not be a problem here. Okay, so let's try to add one more thing called quit driver dot quit. Here it will be problem. With the library, we can also create some important thing called before test, after test, like that. We can also go for that one. So I'll be creating some variables, right, for each and every class, whatever we have used, right. One class is that operations in the class is kind of keyword operation, right. So I'll be creating a variable here, keyword operation, where I'll be using the constructor providing the WebDriver reference here. This is my WebDriver reference, which is matching with the driver one. Okay. So that should match with the driver one. So that is the reason I have given this dot driver equal to driver. Okay. Then we are creating also one class for read Excel file keyword, right? Read Excel file keyword. This is the file class I am creating, and read properties files, right? That is the class I am creating an object reference. And for the properties class, right? For the properties class, I want to call that get object repository method, whatever returns here, right? Read property file. Okay. And with the help of object, I will be creating another variables, and that method I am calling it. Then I will be going to the sheet, right, with the help of sheet class. So I will be reading the sheet with the help of files, then sheet name, and then the tab name, because these three things I am given here for reading the file here, right? File name, file path, and sheet name. So I am reading it. Once I go to the sheet, I want to go to the get to the row count, right? So I am going to the last row and minus first row. So it will give me, suppose not exact one, so I will be adding it once more, so that it will give me the exact count. Because I already told, in case your last row number is 8 and first row number is 1, so it will give you 7, but your exact row count is 8, right? So you need to add 1. After that, we are reiterating it from the first row, because from the first second row, means row I equal to 1, because I am not giving I equal to 0, because in the first row I have given all my headings, right? So I will be going to the second row. Then I want to iterate, right, row. I want to create a row variable for the row class. I want to go to the sheet here, and I want to get the row. After that, I want to check whether my cell, right, my first row, some value is there or not. In case it is 0, then only I am going to the other column, means cell 1, 2, 3 and 4, where I have given all my keyword and all my variables and all my, right, identifier and all my value. In case it is matching with 0, I will be saying that my new test case is getting started, right, where I will be that giving my test cases print out, right, along with that keyword in the before and after that. In case it is 0, means so I have in that particular sheet, I have the other test case to execute, right, other test keyword to execute. In case it is matching with 0, okay, you can see, in case it is value is there, so I will be printing it out that my new test case execution started with the test case name. In case it is 0, means there is no value here. 0 means there is no value, but the keyword is there. So I will be trying to read the cell 1, cell 2, cell 3 and cell 4, and I want to perform the operation here, right. So that is my objective. In case it is matching with not equal to 0, I will be trying to print out all the operations, and definitely I want to perform the operation. Otherwise, I will be printing out. So let's try to run once more time, and let's see whether it's running accurately or not. So that is my objective. So I am writing everything from the keyword, whatever given in the test case sheet, and whichever is available in my project level only, and on the test case sheet I have given the sheet tab name is called keyword driven. So you can see it is opening the ready page, it is entering, it will enter the username and password field, you click on the sign in button once the page is fully loaded. This is my first test case, will run. After that, again it will go to the second test case, enter the username password field, and it will click on the forgot password link, right, and in the console you can get to know everything. That is my first test case run, and it will go for the second test case, it will enter the username password field, and it will click on the forgot password link. So that's why you just can add test case whatever is required, you need to run it. In case you are having new keyword, right, new operations you need to enter, you need to add them, right? Suppose say in the test cases, suppose you need to add few more step, few more test cases, and few more keyword, right, and few more object, right? So keyword object you will be adding first here, right? In case object, so you will be adding object name and object properties, means based on the thing you are giving it here, object type. In case you are giving at id, name, class name, so based on the object name you need to add it here in the object properties file. That is your first step, right? The second step is that in case you are adding new more keyword, right, new more keyword, so you will be adding it here in the keyword operations, right here. In case it is new more keyword, just like this, you need to add few more switch statement. Okay, just like if you want to clear the value, so you need to add clear. Okay, and definitely so other thing will be same, right? So you need to update only few of the particular classes, not all the classes. So that is the beauty, right? Okay, so that's why you can do the keyword driven testing. Okay, so let's recapture once more time what are the topics I have tried to discuss today. So I want to read and write the data in the Excel sheet through my keyword data driven framework, and I will be letting you know what is the keyword driven framework all about, how can you create a keyword driven framework, what are the different advantages and disadvantages having, what are the basic difference between data driven and keyword driven framework is there, right? So in the next topics I will try to cover hybrid driven framework, as well as I will try to create new framework from the scratch, and I will try to let you know how can you create better report, right, all this stuff. Okay, so that's all for today's session. Thank you.